I feel like it was only somewhat recently I actually learned or figured out or realised what the term flight risk meant, which is a term used in law areas, in parts of law, in law bits. In law bits. You know how if you draw, if you're a drawer, they call you a drawer. Hey, you're a really good drawer. Yeah, I'm a whole chest of drawers. That wasn't funny. No squeaky apple for that joke. That won't make sense yet, but it will make sense in a bit. So bear with me. When you draw, people, they say like, oh, doing his doodles. Oh, Ewan's just in his room alone doing his doodles. He's so weird. He just, he spends all his time alone just doing his little drawings, his little doodles. And when you're a lawyer, people say that, but they say, oh, he's doing his law bits. He's just up there reading his books like a fucking nerd, doing all of his law bits, his little law things, helping people against wrongful imprisonment, all that kind of stuff. So flight risk. Call me silly, but I thought it meant like they can't be allowed to fly because there'll be a problem if this person, this is a criminal, we've arrested them and charged them with a thing, maybe something violent, maybe something antisocial, something that could put the public in danger. So don't let them on a plane because they're a flight risk. Don't let them go on a plane, which isn't entirely wrong. It's largely wrong, but there's a little bit of a fraction, a flake of truth of accuracy, a flake of accuracy within that. Because I think I don't know if I even looked it up or if I heard someone talk about it or if I just figured it out. I was like, oh, obviously. I think maybe I heard someone talking about it and then I understood through the context of what they were saying. I was like, oh, flight risk means that the if someone's referred to as a flight risk, it means they're at risk of running away, potentially leaving the country, maybe on a flight. But to take flight doesn't necessarily mean to fly away. Obviously it does, but also it means like to split, to fucking run away, to suddenly leave the current fuck predicament you're in. So if somebody's a flight risk, it means they might try to escape the town, the city, the state, the country potentially. Which I think is funny that someone might not be considered a flight risk, because then if you were in that position as a defendant, someone who has been arrested and charged, not necessarily found guilty because it's pre court ruling, that if you if you're very cooperative, if you play by the rules, you sort of do what they say, you go where they tell you to go and do what they tell you to do, and then they'll see that and they'll label you as not a flight risk because you're very cooperative and you're just they say, oh hey, it's time for you to go here, it's time for you to do this, and then you do that, and then they'll go, oh, he's not a flight risk, it's all good. And then they say, okay, your court date's coming up, be here at this time, and then you'll be judged and sentenced or whatever, and then you fucking run away and no one knows what to do. All the police sitting around going, but what happened? How could this possibly happen? He wasn't a flight risk. I didn't think he'd run away. I didn't think he tried to evade getting put in prison for years. I didn't think he tried to keep his freedom in a last-ditch attempt. Oh, he ran away. Now we don't know what to do because he wasn't a flight risk. He could be anywhere now. Who knows? Oh, I guess we'll just let him go. That's how that would work. If you just ran away at that point, they'd probably just be like, oh, we may as well just leave him. Just let him go. He's, at this point, I mean, what's the point in even trying to capture him? He's a smart, handsome, charming guy. This is obviously me if I got arrested. With large testicles, one of which is more forwardly prominent than the others, which is why it gets knocked about and hurt sometimes. I'm saying that because that happened the other day. My testicle really hurt for a good few days. It wasn't like agony. I didn't have to go to hospital. That's happened before as well. It just, ached quite a bit for a few days because I knocked it because it's quite prominently forward. See, because in my, no, I won't draw a diagram. But if this is the front of my penis hanging, in my pants, whatever. This is the front of my penis. It hangs sort of like this, and my testicles are obviously behind it, and then one's here, but one is sort of here. So it's quite like if this is the front of my pants, my penis is here. One of my testicles is here. The other one's sort of here. So they're like here and here, which means if I get knocked here, it's very likely. Like my penis can take a battering because, I mean, come on, almost 37 years of the battering it's already taken. My testicles less so. They've taken a little bit of a bump here and there. Bump and a squeeze and a twist and a fucking pull and a bop it, twist it, pull it, bite it, bite it, bite it, bite it. But they're sensitive. They're testicles. They're sensitive. So if it gets knocked, this one can get knocked, and it can be pretty devastating. Well, not devastating, but So that's all the talk I have about flight risk. I thought it was one thing. It was kind of that thing, but not strictly that thing. It was more another thing. I just thought that would be a really interesting topic. I thought, I'll note that down. I actually noted it down. I thought, I'll talk about that on the podcast. I could get at least a few minutes out of that. And I did. I got at least a few minutes out of that. And hooray for me. Aren't I good at what I do? I should do this for a living. Screw the drawing. I should be a full-time podcaster. I should do live podcasts. Oh, can you imagine? I have thought about that. There's a non-zero chance that I could potentially someday have a popular enough podcast. I mean, I'm almost at 300 episodes, and it's not getting that way. But it's a non-zero chance that I could have a popular enough podcast that someday there may be the opportunity to do a live one where people would buy tickets to come and see me live, do a podcast live. And I thought, what would I do at a live podcast? And I guess I'd have a table set up. Basically this, I'd recreate my desk on a stage in a live venue and have a camera pointed down, just like I do now, but then with a projector. So projecting it on a huge theatre screen behind me or in front of me, depending on which way I'm facing. And then also maybe a camera on my face that could have a screen with an insert screen, a screen within a screen, and then I could talk to the audience and then do I'd take suggestions, audience suggestions, and we could do a bunch of things. I get participation, talk about my testicles some more. It's always fun and funny, isn't it? Never a dull moment when you get to talk about your old testicles. I saw the film The Sadness. Have you seen the film The Sadness? Oh, it's a really sad, moving, emotional Taiwanese movie. It rivals that of I don't know, what's a sad, emotional movie? Forrest Gump. It's got emotional parts where he's like, oh, is he smart or is he like me? Oh, is he a dummy in the head or is he smart? And then she's like, he's the smartest in his class. And Forrest Gump's all like, Sadness is just like that. If you've seen The Sadness, you'll know it's not. It's absolutely not like that at all. It's not remotely like that at all. It's not like that at all. The Sadness is a 2021 or 2 film from Taiwan. The premise is it's like a cross between 28 Days Later and Crossed, the comic book, which I know very little of. I've not read it, but I'm aware. I think there's like some infection people get, and it creates a rash on their face in a cross, and it makes them do the most horrible, violent, sadistic things they can think of, or something like that. Horsecock, that's one. Babies on a Plane, I think there's part of that in it. And so that's basically what the film is. It is incredibly, preposterously violent, vile, sadistic, very, very bloody, nasty, horrible things. There's some infection going around, and it makes people act upon their most violent and disgusting thoughts and cravings and whatever. There's lots of killing, lots of mutilation, there's a bit of cannibalism, lots of sexual assault, SA, I guess I'm supposed to say. And it's really fun. It's a really funny, fun, enjoyable film. I meant to see it ages ago because it's the sort of film that's like, I probably should watch. It's not the film that I'm super into, you know. I like violence now and then, but I started up a skateboard company called it. But you know, I like my violence classy and or fun and like well done. And I will say, on the whole, for me, my pen's run out. What a bastard! I don't know what it's called. I think the film for me is maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. And that's like the film as a film is probably for me like a 5. Like it was just sort of meh. But then the like physical special effects and makeup and blood and stuff, and if you're looking at it as a gory, horrible, violent film, that puts it up a couple of points. So maybe like if I was looking at it strictly like that, it would be maybe a 7 or an 8. So I sort of average maybe 6.5-ish. But I'm not reviewing it. The point of me talking about it at all is to say I heard about the film shortly after it was due to come out. I saw a trailer and I was like, oh, blood and violence, that looks fun, let's watch that shit. And then I never watched it, and I never really saw anything about it. I didn't see anyone talking about it. It's a sort of film that I can see people talking about purely because of like the shock factor, because there's a lot of like vile, nasty, horrible stuff going on in it. But I just hadn't happened to see anyone talking about it. I'm sure lots of people had, and I now know people had made videos and reviews and stuff about it. I just hadn't seen them anywhere around the time the film was coming out. But I was, after watching it, I was sort of intrigued as to what other people's thoughts and opinions on the film might be. So I did look up like the Sadness review and or videos about the Sadness or whatever. Not all of them, but as I scrolled, for instance, through YouTube, lots and lots of the thumbnails and titles of videos were like, this Taiwanese zombie movie is crazy. You won't believe what happens in this zombie film from Taiwan. Oh, the most violent, sadistic zombie film you've ever seen. This crazy Taiwanese zombie film is out of this world. Violence on another level from this Taiwanese zombie movie. You might notice I'm using a certain word quite a lot. The Z word. We say Z over here, not Z, which means our alphabet song is shit in England, because we legitimately pronounce that letter as Z. That's the letter Z, not Z as they pronounce it in America. So when we sing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. It fucks the entire thing up. The Z gives a nice like ping on the end of the song. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z E E A B C penis penis P P P, and it flows, not T U V W X Y and Z. Now I know my A B Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z. Fucking stupid. It's not a zombie film. The Sadness isn't a fucking zombie film. For fuck. Right, I know I've spent some time talking about zombie movies. I did a whole episode talking about. Yeah, sure, right. Maybe you're not interested. I don't give a shit. So that right, you can make the argument that a zombie is any being whose body is moving outside of that being's control. Voodoo or some spell, some infection or whatever. If there's any outside or even inside force controlling a person's body beyond their control, beyond what they would be doing to control their body. Maybe it takes over their mind, maybe it doesn't. There's an argument to be made that a zombie is basically that. However, if we're talking zombie films, zombie culture, zombies, a zombie is known to be a corpse, the walking dead, a dead body, a person who has died, and because of whatever zombie infection or spell or disease is happening, has caused that dead body to rise up and aim to consume flesh of living people who aren't zombies. That's the very basic basis of zombies and zombie films, is a dead body gets up and becomes a zombie. It's a walking corpse. The Walking Dead, there's a whole shit series about it. Video games, comics, all fucking shit of it. Walking Dead is corpses that get up and fucking do the shit. 28 days later, to this day, I see and hear people talk about it as a zombie. It's not. Because they're infected with rage. They're still alive. They don't die and then come back as rage-infected zombies. They are still alive. They get infected with rage and then they just go on killing sprees. The Sadness is that, but even less zombie than that, because in 28 Days Later, it's sort of kind of shown that the hosts to the infection basically lose all faculties. They don't even try to like eat and shit necessarily. They just get mad and kill people until they die, and that's it. I think basically like that. Whereas in the Sadness, towards the end, there's a scientist who gives lots and lots of exposition. They make a point of saying how the infection, the disease, whatever it is, all it does is fuck with the people's inhibitions. So it maybe heightens the sort of violent, nasty thoughts they have, but it stops them from acting on them, on those acts. But it doesn't take away any of their other sort of needs, their bodily needs, their mental needs. They're still the same person. They're still somewhat have autonomy to like control themselves in general, but the infection has made it so they don't feel a need to hold back on violent, nasty, horrible things. Basically, I think, which just means they're even less zombie than the not zombies from 28 Days Later. They're not zombies. It's not a zombie film. And I understand if you're just making a video about it and you want people to click on it, then it's easier to just say it's a zombie film from Taiwan and it's about and the guy's got an axe and then with his penis in the girl's eye socket after he plucked the eye out with that umbrella. That happens in the film. Spoilers, I guess. But it's not a zombie film. I don't care. It's not. And like many things, and because this is something that's sort of somewhat come up a few times on my very popular YouTube channel, somewhat recently, is people saying like, oh, but what about this and what about this, and like thoughts and feelings change, and maybe next week I'll decide that I think, sure, that is a zombie film, but for now I'm saying it's not. It's not a zombie film. Sadness isn't a zombie film, and if you made a video calling it a zombie film, you're a fucking idiot, and you should have your penis and testicles pulled off and thrown into a bit of dirt in a puddle with some dirt, just a bit of mud, and with your balls and your testicles in them. Even if you don't have balls and testicles, you should be forced to grow them, and then have. Would you like to take a look at an art book, cunts? I want to take a look at my art book. Why not? Mine. Mine art book. One of my art books. I've got so many art books out there in the world. And you can't have them because they're so popular. They're all sold out now. And I'm so lazy that I'm not going to reprint them. So fuck you if you want one. Go find someone who's got one and do enough sexual favours that they give you one, or pay them a lot of money. I don't know how you people trade for items in this economy. Or you can have this one though. This is just a handful. I've got a bunch of these still, and they're available at ewanagain.com at the store. Go there and buy one if you want one. They're quite good. The whole purpose of this was, as tends to be the case, I have an idea in my head of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a little like A5, almost journal-like collection of black and white drawings, and so that's what I bloody did. And look at that. That's this, innit? It's there, and now it's there. That's crazy. It's called black ink, and look, there's a pot of black ink with a thumbprint on there. Some people say, like, why didn't you put one of your drawings on the front, like a cool, like, wow, wicked, expressive, dynamic drawing on the front to really draw people in? And because that's not what was in my head when I thought about putting the book together. I thought of this. I wanted to have a book full of black and white ink drawings with this on the cover, like a pot of ink on the drawing, and then it says black ink, and it's black, and the whole is full of black ink drawings from 2022. The drawings, it says, please enjoy this collection of some of my favourite black and white drawings I've made over the last few years. Ewan, kiss. But this was printed in 2022, and it's really good. Is it? Well, probably. Look, ewanagain.com, that's where you can purchase it. Collections of, I think there'll be more of those throughout. Goblins, giving the old... We like goblins. We like goblins so much. We draw a lot of goblins. That was for a commission. I painted that over the drawing, but I liked it, so I put it in here. More goblins. I think that was for a commission as well, but I don't remember. I think it was like a really basic, like, maybe for a possible tattoo design. I don't know. Someone just said draw a goblin, and I drew that. And then I don't think I heard back from them afterwards, so maybe they didn't like it. Which does happen sometimes. Sometimes people aren't really happy with commissions I've done. And it's a weird thing, because like I'd want them to tell me, because then I would happily do what I can to make it into something, or change it or redo it into something that they'd actually like, because I want to give people what they want, something they like. So if there's a chance I can do that, I want to. But then it's a very awkward position for them to be in, to say, I don't like the work you've just created. Like, to say that to someone, it's got to be quite difficult. Goblin King from the sort of frankly subpar Hobbit movies, they were okay. As if I could make a better film. I mean, Jesus, come on. Goblinsky, We like Goblinsky, the I don't know, fucking Russian cosmonaut goblin or something. I just wanted to have an excuse to draw a goblin with little laser blasters and things. Who's this guy? This little fella. He's cute, isn't he? Ugh. Oh, I put the comic in here. The Goblinsky. I did a little 4-page Goblinsky comic. He's hiding behind a thing and he jumps out and he goes boom, 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 and shoots at this eyeball guy. Boom, and he shoots him and he blasts him in half and his eyeball comes out and he's like, yeah, and he hops over a rock. He's got a little smiley face on his toe for some reason. And he jumps down and he's like, ha ha ha. And he looks up and he's like, oh, what's that? There's a towering guy over him. And he's like, oh, there's an astronaut. And he's going to grab him and he picks him up and he goes, squeak. And that's cute, isn't it? Isn't that cute? Cute little fella. Oh. Gun Viking. Can't have a book full of drawings without some Gun Viking in there, can you? This one, it was quite a big drawing on a big piece of paper. Just a big piece of paper. The drawing itself wasn't huge, but the paper was really big. So I couldn't be fucked to even try to fit it in my scanner. So I took a really low quality photo, hence the dark to light fade here. But it's fucking whatever, innit? It works. This is his companion, Gloctopus. Octogun / Gloctopus. Whatever you want to fucking call him. More Gun Vikings. Just some weird, like, Cthulhu-ish, Lovecraftian drawings of just stuff. Look, there's eyeballs floating in the bottle. It's weird. Vampirella, that was a good one. Pretty hot, isn't it? Oh, she's... fucking get in. That was a song lyric. It's quite a cool little drawing. Oh, Death Fist! Remember him! Remember Death Fist? Oh, these are some early drawings of Death Fist. I'll have to do maybe next week I'll do a look through Death Fist. Maybe we can look through all the original art and some of the concept drawings and the comic as it was published, and then I can talk about why I haven't even thought about starting on volume 2. Yeah. One big arm, characters with one big arm. Death Fist wasn't... Well, he kind of was. Was he? Yeah, I think he was invented at least partly, specifically, because I like drawing characters with one big arm. He almost certainly was invented. I like drawing skulls, and I like drawing characters with one big arm, and I quite like drawing, like, what the fuck are these called? The ponchos, the big waterproof poncho coat things. I like drawing those. So I put them all together in one character. And these are some other members of the crew, of the big arm crew. That's the Lobo's back, Lady Lobo, big arm Lady Lobo. That's the fucking... Is it a Charger from Left 4 Dead 2? He's one of the special zombies from Left 4 Dead 2. He's got a big arm. And that was just some other one big arm guy drawings. Oh, this was a bunch of stuff I like drawing on characters. Cut off shirts, sleeves like that, big arm, trousers like this, pouches like that, fingers and whatever. This guy, remember that cartoon? Monsters! Leather faces. I really like this one. That was really good. There's a video of that somewhere. Other leather faces. That was a collaboration with Tom. That was fun. Other horror drawings. Other horror drawings and other horror drawings. So many horror drawings. More horror drawings than you can shake. A titted skullat. Yeah, skulls are cool, I guess. But they could be even cooler if they had titties for eyes. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, get it, yeah. Skulls with tits for eyes. That's mine. That's my thing. I wasn't the first one to do it, I don't think, but I'm the best one to do it. I guarantee that. Fucking guarantee that. It's not good to have like an ego or be big-headed about things or, braggadocious. I don't want to be a braggart. But when it comes to skulls with tits for eyes, I'm the best that's done it so far. And those are fun too. I like that. I've been doing that since like college, like a face and a face and a face and a face. So he's sharing the eyes and it's the same all the way around. Oh, speaking of tits, There you go. The video's instantly going to have an age restriction now because I showed boobs. Hey, the plumber cometh. It's like a Mario parody, a marody or a pario. It's big muscly plumber with a gun. There's mushrooms and turtles and shit. He who plums last, plums hardest. Wolverine. That was for a thing that I didn't do more of. More Wolverines. I didn't realise I'd drawn so many Wolverines. And tits! So many tits! And Wolverines with tits! With decidedly erect nipples. I really like that one. That's a really old one as well. That's a newer one. I think that was a commission. That was drawn maybe as like a portfolio piece. I think I drew a few like black and white character drawings to go in my portfolio so you could flip through and there'd just be a few like full page characters. Apparently he's got his eyes closed. I don't know. I don't fucking know. That's a good drawing though. Really good drawing. I like that one. I like that a lot. That's cool Venom. It is a cool Venom. I like the pose. Doctor Doom. All the material and shit on his cloak. That's cool. It's not accurate for shit, but it looks cool. And that's what counts. Speaking of Doom, is the man. Oh, we love MF Doom. He's the best. Turtles. A whole bunch of turtles. This was... I would have done a really rough sketch, and then I would have done this ballpoint sketch over that, and then traced that with marker pen, and then painted on top of that. Look at this little guy. There's lots of little guys throughout here. That's quite cool. Well, two so far. There's this little guy. There's that little guy. I guess in that plumber cometh one, there's a bunch of little guys, aren't there? Oh, he's basically that guy, isn't he? Little turtle fella. Little guy. Oh, look at this little guy. He's having a whale of a time. Some of these are like as they appear as the drawing, but then like these two are, this guy is superimposed. Just because I thought he'd fit in there nicely. And some of those, some pages are like that. That is superimposed. Because I wanted this book to be like that as well. Not just drawing, but also like a collage of other drawings on... That's a cool thing, isn't it? I like that his shoulders are square so he fit into the page. He was another one of those like black and white character drawings I did. It's fun to draw the Thing. I do like the Thing. Juggernaut. Hand's a bit fucky, but pretty cool otherwise. Max. Some Hulks. Some Hulk doodles. I wanted these in the sketchbook, in the book as well. Some finished drawings, some like rough, loose sketches. Little thumbnails down here. Cool. Ultra Mega. No, it's not. It's Ultra Man. May as well be Ultra Mega. Maybe I could redraw that as Ultra Mega. Goblin. A guy that's peed himself. That was a whole thing. I like the goblin, like the goblin's body there, with his back and his legs and his butthole sticking out there. That's a cool one. I like that piece. Things, objects. That was a really cool drawing of my shoes at the time, my Vans, and these are cool drawings of like pens and shit. I really fucking killed the drawings of those paint tubes. That's really fucking good. Like that almost looks photorealistic, almost, if you like see it quickly, and then you look closer and it's just lines. It's just made up of lines, but it's really fun. Look, it's like taped in there. It's quite cool, isn't it? I like objects. I like drawing things. So all swear jars. See, that's me. If I had a swear jar, you're supposed to just put in like a penny or whatever whenever you say a swear. But I say cunt so many times. If I had swear jar, I'd need so many swear jars and they'd all be full because I say cunt unnecessarily so many times. You cunt. Eat a dick. Ball bag ass. Fart on my tits. Shit down my neck. Piss all over my gaping anus. Piss deep into the gaping anus of Christ. 6 characters. It's Wilson from the Wilson Show. You know, the faraway island Wilson Show. Rat Bro specifically. These were sort of superimposed together or whatever. There's another little guy. There's a little head guy. I don't know. I really like all the drawings in this book. That's probably why they made it into the book, because there's just a bunch of drawings that I really like looking at. And yeah, it's okay to like your own artwork. I can look through a book of my own drawings and sit here and go, oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. I really like this. I like the shapes of that. Because that's why I draw shit. Because I want to look at cool shit. And, you know, other artists have made cool shit that I can look at. But sometimes I want to look at cool shit and go, look at that. I did that. Aren't I brilliant? Aren't I bloody brilliant? A couple of character commission sketches. That was a really fun one. I like that. That's fucking good. Jesus. Sometimes you draw shit and you wonder, like, what happened? Why can't I draw like that anymore? Where'd it go? Where did the skill go? What happened? That's from a comic I've never read in my life. But I like the characters. Quite cool. Like a sci-fi western sort of thing. Lizards with guns. That's how I come up with things. I go, hey, here's a thing. Now give it a gun! Oh, hey, here's another thing. Now give it a gun! Some more commission sketches and shit. More commission. That was from my Stinktober I did. Where every day of October for Inktober I drew something smelly. One of them I did was boys are smelly, and another one I did was girls are smelly. When I said girls are smelly, the drawing got taken down and didn't get reposted. But it's all right to say that boys are smelly, but not like I don't know. It's hardly violence or anything, is it? It's not like I don't know. Smelly man in the toilet. He tells me to do things, and I do them. Space pirates. Bunch of that. More guys. Jason and Cerebus and Lobo. God. When I drew this, I'd barely looked at or drawn Lobo, and now can't get fuck enough of him, apparently. Just Lobo after Lobo after bloody Lobo. Jesus Christ. Some post-apocalyptic kids. That was a really cool drawing. Oh, these really cool drawings. So many really cool drawings. Little dog. This is the only correct way to name orcs. Bork, Snork, Glork, etc. You get the idea. A few orcs there just hanging out. Heads in a fridge. That was another part of Stinktober. And this was another part of Stinktober. Dying stinks. And then I drew that. Like, look at that. Look, he's dead. His guts and shit come out. Guts everywhere. And his ghost has come up and like, ugh. Now what? What am I supposed to do now? Now I'm fucking dead. Ugh. Look at that. That's relatable, isn't it? God, sat at the desks trying to get shit done and just some screwed up drawings everywhere. As well as this, that's the end, by the way. As well as that, I have these. What these are is the same book, but look, right, if I look through these, go like this. Wait a second. Wasn't that guy near the back of the book? Oh, he is. He's right. He's there, and then he's also. That's a bit strange. Oh, let me continue. Let's carry on. Let's keep looking at things. Wait a minute. Didn't I just? Huh. That's odd, isn't it? Isn't that peculiar? Isn't that very strange? They're there. There's two Leatherface drawings, and then they're there as well. And wait a minute, and these two, weren't they also closer to the back of the book? Wasn't it? Yeah, they're quite close to the back of the book. But now they're close to the... Huh, that's peculiar. I think there's a couple more as well. So when I first got this book done, I got it done at a different printer to the one I was normally using at the time. And I'd seen the work they did, and they did good work, and they did very timely work. And then multiple hundreds of copies of this book show up. I got them delivered to a friend's house for safety reasons. My friend very kindly drove them over, got them out of the box, all happy, like cutting the box open, pulling copies out, give her a copy here, have this on the house. And I'm looking through like, oh yeah, let's go, this is my book. Wait, what? Huh? every single copy that was printed had the exact same issues. So I contacted the place and they were like, oh, we used the PDF you sent over. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm looking at the PDF. And they were looking at the PDF while I was on the phone to them. And they were like, yeah, no, everything looks fine. And I was like, okay, but why isn't everything fine in the book then? And it wasn't. So then they said, okay, go online and fill out like an official like request for review form or whatever. And I said, blah, blah, blah. So then I got an email back saying, please provide some pictures. So I took a bunch of pictures, numbered the pages and where they were. And they said, okay, can you please send us a video looking through at least 15 copies of the book to show that it is in, multiple copies of the book and not just one. So I did that, looked through the book, pointed at things, looked through the book, pointed at things 15 times, sent them that. Then they go, sorry, we can't open the video file. It's not in a correct format or whatever. So I had to reformat the and then then they said, okay, yeah, as we can clearly see, it is a printing error, so we will reprint them for you for free. Of course you fucking will. Jesus Christ. So I'd seen them for someone else print the books and get them delivered within like a week. From the point of me sending the artwork originally to the point of me finally getting correct copies, which I now know if I flip through and I see this, I know it's a correct copy because he doesn't exist in the misprinted copies, which is a shame because it's one of my favourite drawings. From the time of me sending away the artwork for the originally to the time of me getting the final finished, actually correctly printed copies, 6 weeks it took. It was 6 fucking weeks. Which, in the grand scheme of things, is not that long. It was a month and a half, and I had the books I needed. But I was also left with boxes and boxes of misprinted copies of this goddamn book. I have since recycled a bunch of them. I kept one box, partly for like, I don't know, sentimental reasons, but also if this is available, I think it's like £11 on my website, ewan.com. Go to the store. You buy this for £11. If you're happy to have a misprinted copy, get in touch with me personally via Instagram is usually best. And you can have one for £5, because whatever, £5 including postage, and I'll just send you this fucking misprinted piece of shit. If you're outside of the UK, I might have to charge you for postage though, because it's a bit expensive. Because I think it would probably cost maybe like £8 for me to send the book outside of the country because of Brexit. Love that. And so if I charge you £5, including postage, and it's costing me money, and I'm getting nothing out of it, so I'll have to charge you for that. And that is why I will never again put my penis into a loaf of bread until I know for a fact that it is baked all the way through completely. We don't need any more disasters like that. Oh, what's this now? Oh, this is such a surprise. What an unplanned surprise. It's the apple. It's the apple of my eye. It's the apple of my dreams. I was in a supermarket recently. Just the little supermarket, the little bonus sort of like convenience mart, little bonus supermarket that's not the main supermarket, just a little bonus one on the corner there, just on the bit, or just on the road, but on the just on the corner, just a little. Looking for shit. There was a very small like pet food, it's cat and dog food section, and this was in there. It's like a dog toy or whatever, but there was no other dog toys, cat toys, anything. It was just like food and shit. But this was there, and I saw its little face. It wasn't looking up at me. It was like this on the shelf. I saw it and I was like, oh, is that it looks soft. Is that a squeaky little apple? And I picked it up, I did this. And I very, very quickly put it down and I took one step away to be like, oh, it wasn't me. I didn't squeak the squeaky apple. One step away and I stopped. And I thought to myself, no, I need that. I need that. Need that. I need it. I fucking need it. And so I bought it. And now I have it. And it made my day a lot better. Legitimately. I fucking love it. Because it does this. Or it does that as well if you go like this. Or it can be really annoying. It legitimately sounds like someone screaming in pain, which is really funny. Some ASMR for you there. So that's now going to be, oh, excuse me, a build-up of mucus. This is now going to be a mainstay of the podcast. This is going to be here forever now. And whenever I say something funny, oh God, excuse me, terribly vulgar. Whenever I do a gag or a bit or, you know, a pun or something, if I say something particularly amusing, it will get the squeaky apple. Just to, you know, accentuate, to put an exclamation on the funny bit I did, the funny thing I said. Oh, you're gonna love it, believe me. It'll be this that really gets me to, you know, podcast stardom. That'll be the thing that everyone, you know, gets to know. I'll do live shows and they'll be like, squeaky apple, squeaky apple, squeaky apple, squeaky apple. That's all they'll want to see. And then I'll have big banners come down, big red banners with a big white circle in them. And in the white circle will be this face. It's like it's got a nipple as well. That's how you treat nipples. Like if this is your tongue, you do this. And you give it some of this. And then you put your whole mouth and go like this. And then back to this. And this. And that will be on the banner. Large, like 3 banners across the back of the stage with the squeaky apple. And everyone will cheer and chant, squeaky apple, squeaky apple. And I will be redundant. My part in the live shows, the podcast, will be minimal because everyone will just want to hear from Mr. Appleface. If I ever did merch, it'll be that. It'll be the Squeaky Apple merch. It'll just be a red shirt and a white circle, and in the white... I'm not going to actually make Nazi adjacent merchandise. See, the thing is, one moment I remember quite clearly from my podcast, from back in the day in my podcast, was playing Hitler speeches at the same time as SpongeBob SquarePants singing, like the best day ever or whatever. It's the best day ever, with Hitler going, Sie was the Juden, who sie getötet haben. Which sounds a little bit Swedish, but and so back then that was kind of funny, but now it's not so funny. Now that like the Nazis are everywhere, it's less funny now, and so I won't indulge in that kind of thing anymore. Just so we're clear, the whole like haha red banners with the white circle with the apple in it coming down, sort of somewhat amusing, but owing to, you know, current world events and current fuckheads that are in the world publicly doing Nazi things, I will not actually be indulging in that kind of tomfoolery for jokes or otherwise, because comedy's illegal. Oh, you can still do it, Ewan. We know it's just a joke. Nah. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope, I will not. What I will do is draw sick pictures promoting my YouTube channel. So in a recent episode, I was coming up with the idea that I was going to have like me coming out of the screen, like in The Ring or Ringu. If it's Japanese, Ringu. Like Pingu, but a lot more sinister. That was a funny one. I came up with that on the spot. Like I say, sometimes I write shit down. I'm like, oh, this will be funny. Talk about this. But then Ringu being like Pingu, the penguin. I can picture it so clearly, like claymation of The Ring. Like Sadako comes out of the TV doing her creepy walk, a crawl along the floor, and then her hair is obviously covering her face. And she looks up and her hair parts, and it's Pingu's mouth going, nah, nah! That'd actually be perfect. Fuck! I want to animate that now. That would take even just like 15 seconds. The screen. Or you'd need like to animate her coming out of the well, walking towards the screen, coming out of the screen, and then like coming towards the camera, lifting her head, and then nah, nah, and then it being Ringu in like the Pingu font, if there is a Pingu font or whatever. What do you reckon? 15, 20 seconds of animation? If I was going to hand draw it or actually make claymation, if I was going to make claymation, that would take months just to do that. If I was going to hand draw it, maybe a few days, maybe longer, maybe a week or more, but it'd be funny though, wouldn't it? So that was my idea, was to have me coming out of the YouTube screen going, look, I'm creepy and weird. But instead, I'm just being creepy and weird and choking the viewer. See? It shows interaction with the viewer. This is you. This is all of you. Weird, funny, crazy-eyed little freaks that watch my shit for some reason. And that's me coming out going, oh, thank you for watching. So I keep putting my thumb over its hole. And if you do that, it doesn't squeak. See, me, I squeak if you do put your thumb over my hole. That's not going to get tired very quick. It'll be here every episode. You watch and wait. Watch my views go. Yeah, I like this idea. Also, so here's some sketches from like my design process. So there was like me crawling out of the screen. I don't know how clear you can see that, but I was like, nah, I don't know. So I was like me coming out choking the guy, and I was like, okay, that kind of works. And then sort of, do I want my face like right up against this guy's face or not? And then funny drawing of this guy. So I was designing it, and I realised I ended up coming up with a really the design in this is so fucking good. Like maybe the eye could be a bit more central if it was like here, but like, so this arm flows down into my back coming out of the screen really nicely in one nice line, so that gives a good line of movement already. And completely honestly, unintentionally and coincidentally, it's almost a perfect triangle of like these points, and then with a sort of a somewhat rectangle behind it, sort of giving it that sturdiness to stand up, and then turning that, what was going to be just, I was going to make that a pink rectangle and write YouTube in it, but instead I made it like the word YouTube out of the, so it's triangle, and that's like, I mean, sometimes I'm good at what I do, but that's really fucking good design. If I could say so myself, I was really, really happy with that. So this is now the design I'm going with, which is on the top of my Instagram page. I have 3 pinned posts, one of which promotes commissions, one of which promotes my Patreon page, and the third promotes my YouTube channel to Instagram and anyone who happens upon that page. Just so people are aware that if they enjoy what I do, there's more of it to be found here, there, and everywhere. And get me more subscribers and make number go up, because that's important. And it's going to say join me on, so it's join me on YouTube. And then there'll be another, like, you can swipe through the pictures on Instagram. There'll be another one saying, go youtube.com/ewan for videos and tutorial videos, cross-hatching painting tutorials, weekly podcasts, bonus podcasts, other shit talking about art and art books, so many art books, and that's about it. And when I talk about art books, it's usually on the podcast. I was going to have a series of just looking at art book videos, and I was even going to have a series of just take the segments from the podcast where I look at art books and upload them as their own videos much later on. But I couldn't be fucking bothered, so I just didn't. Plus, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, that would be cool if they were separate videos. But then I did try that a few times, and maybe it was just the books weren't that interesting, but those videos got very few views. And I felt like I was putting those videos out there just to have more videos, not because I necessarily really wanted to. And then they didn't get that many views, so I was like, meh, people clearly don't care, I don't really care, so there's no point in doing it, really, is there? So now I've stuck to my guns, and I just make the videos I would probably make anyway, which is, that's what the podcast is, basically. It's just me doing what I would be doing. Like, I'd be drawing this anyway, and I'd be talking to myself about my testicles anyway. Because the thing happened with my testicles, and then I'd have a conversation in my head as if I was telling someone about my testicles, because I don't talk to anyone on a daily basis, so I pretend I'm talking to people. So I'd be doing that anyway, so I may as well fucking... I did that in my head. I already spoke about, like, oh, if someone was asking me about the film The Sadness that I saw, what would I say about it? Well, I'd say it's not a fucking zombie movie, because it's not a fucking zombie movie. And so that's the videos I make. I make the videos I want to make. I put them on YouTube, and if people like them, cool. And if they don't like them, it's clear they're a fucking moron. And they probably think Nazi jokes are funny. Which, like anything, you can make funny Nazi jokes, but using just Nazi imagery in an attempt to be funny just because you're using Nazi imagery isn't the way to do it currently. That you could do that. There was a time when that would just be funny universally. You could make fun in that way. But now is not the time. Now is not the time. I am political. I try not to make... Well, no, it's not that I try not to make my videos political. Do you know what's really cool to make videos is make videos talking about the videos you're making. It is brilliant. Everyone loves that. You get it. I don't even need to finish what I'm saying. You know what I mean. I draw shit, and art is political. Being alive is political. And the people who say they're not political are very usually people who are safe from the politics that are happening, which is, they get to say they're not political because it doesn't matter to them. It's whatever. Be wary of those people. Also be wary of people who refer to films like 28 Days Later and The Sadness as zombie films, because then you're dealing with a fucking idiot. Oh, that would have been a good place to cut and end the episode, wouldn't it? Oh, fucking idiot. The end. Look, I've put little stars here. I have a little black star and a little white star living together in harmony. See? Art's political, even if you just draw a couple of stars. It's political. It's racial. Ooh. Well, it's not, but yeah. Whatever. Fucking whatevs. I don't give a piss. I don't give a piss or a shit. Or a lick of a dog's ball bag. I don't give. Is that a thing people give? Do they lick dogs' ball bags anymore? Do people even lick dogs' ball bags anymore? Like we did back in the day? See, you don't know if you weren't around in like the early 90s. That was the time, the early 90s. You go into the woods and there's like a broken down place where there's somewhere someone had been sleeping there. So you can see there's like maybe a mattress or a bunch of cardboard on the floor, remnants of food packages and drinks, bottles, beer cans and shit. Probably drug paraphernalia also. But then it looks like maybe they hadn't been there for a little while. Maybe they'd been sort of like moved along by the pigs, by the filth, by the fuzz. And then just down the way, there'd be the older kids smoking cigarettes. And that was the first time you really encountered people smoking cigarettes. It was the older kids in the woods smoking cigarettes. And there'd be porn. You'd find porn either in the woods or behind the garages, where you'd have the garages, which were like these communal use garages that I never ever saw anyone drive in or out of. But we played football. You kick the ball against the garages. You use the garage doors as football goals. You kick the ball against it, and then behind the garages, in the bushes, there's porn. Discarded pornography magazines. Don't know how they got there or why they got there. Maybe if unhoused people was stashing their porn there, or like someone bought porn, used it, just jerked off all over the place, and then didn't want to take the porn home because they were like, oh shit, someone's going to find it, so they just tossed it in a bush behind some garages. I assume it's like one of those reasons. But it was free porn. That's how we got free porn back in the day. Back in the day, we didn't have all these websites. We used to go behind the garages, climb awkwardly through the branches and shit behind the garages, find the discarded, waterlogged, mouldy, half ripped apart, dirty, filthy, rotten porn mags, Razzle and the like, readers' wives in the back, where people would send in photos of their wives nude. That was a thing. And that was our free porn. You didn't have, Pornhub, X-Hamster. Have all that. Christ, you don't know how good you got it. And then you'd also lick the ball bags of dogs.